Do you know how much it's really going to cost for you to sell your North Dakota home? In this video, I'll be breaking down the full seller's net sheet for you. This will include a breakdown for everything, from abstract extension, title company fees, home warranties, and everything in between. And today I'll be breaking down every number for you so you know how much it's going to cost you to make your next move here in North Dakota. This is a seller's net sheet that I provide my clients. This is a sheet that will break down all the costs associated with selling your home, what we can expect to get an offer for your home at, and what you can expect in your pocket at the end of the day. The first and maybe most expensive cost that is associated with selling your home is a mortgage payoff. Now there's a lot of different situations that may occur when you may have a home improvement loan on top of your mortgage, or maybe you have a first-time home buyer program, which is down payment assistance, and that's a second mortgage on your home, or a bridge loan, or you have some other type of loan other than the normal mortgage. So in the event of you selling this home, you will need to pay off this mortgage and any other loans and outstanding liens you have on your property. This is called a mortgage payoff. Aside from the actual principal of the mortgage, you will also have to pay off interest prorated to the day of closing. You start selling your home in the month of July. Your closing date ends up being in August or September. Those interest payments are going to be prorated to that day of closing. So you're not paying for the mortgage when someone else owns the home, but you're going to pay it up to that date of closing when you'll transfer that title over to the next person. Now, some of the other loans that I already mentioned also have to be paid off. These can include things like home improvement loans, renovation loans, second mortgages, if you have a contract for deed on the house you live in now, or stuff like that. This is important that all these are paid off and you know how much you have to pay to actually transfer your home to the next person. The most common of all these is a first-time homebuyer loan. Here in North Dakota, they offer a special program for first-time homebuyers, which is technically considered a second mortgage payment, which will cover the down payment to give you that down payment assistance so you can get into a home with little to no money. And this is even partially forgiven over a span of however many years. But when you do sell your home, maybe if you didn't use up all those years in that down payment assistance program, you would have to pay off that remaining balance. And that's the most common one I see. By the way, I'm Zachsykora. I'm a real estate agent here. I'm based in the Fargo-moorhead area, but I also work in mainly eastern North Dakota, and I have connections all over the state. If you're looking to sell your North Dakota home and want to get that process started and see how much it's going to cost you to sell your home, you can schedule a call with me or call me or text me at the number below. The next thing you need to know when selling your home is how the specials and the taxes work. So the property taxes on your home are going to be also prorated to the day of closing. So as this example before, if you start selling your home in June and it doesn't sell till July or August, you're going to be paying taxes up to the day of closing, and then the next person will obviously take over. So it's not going to be once you put your home on the market, you're going to stop paying taxes. You're going to continue to pay taxes on your home up until that day of closing, which then the buyer will obviously assume those taxes on the home. Now this is a similar thing for specials. Special assessments, if you don't know what they are, they're a big thing here in the Fargo-moorhead area specifically. Special assessments are special taxes that are aside from the property taxes on homes. Specials can be used for a lot of different improvements, like maybe road improvements, parks, or things done by the city. And one thing to know with specials is for improvements only on that home. So let's say you live in West Fargo and there's some new roads being put up in North Fargo. You're not going to have any specials because of those new roads in North Fargo. You're only going to have specials if it's a new road, maybe outside your house or right on a road by your house. So that's important to know with special assessment taxes. Next thing, aside from taxes and the mortgage payoff, is the abstract extension. Now, if you don't know what an abstract is a document that will display all the owners of a property all the way back to when it was first built. So even if a home was built in the early 1900s, it's a paper booklet that has records of whoever owned that home ever since it was built back in the 1900s. This most of the time can be held at a title company or the abstract holding facility. So you won't have to worry about it, or you won't have to ever see it or touch it, but you'll just have to pay that fee for that to be extended. Now, in certain situations, in certain cases, people may actually have their abstract in their home, in which case I would recommend that you turn it into a title company or you turn it into somebody to store it for you, because to get those replaced, it can be upwards of $2,000 to $3,000 just to get it replaced. But to get that abstract extension is only usually $400 to $600, and it's usually around $550 to get your name on that title and then transfer it over to the next person. So one thing to note with that is that if you're living in a home currently and you own that home, your name is not currently on the abstract. But is when you transfer that property over to the next person, that's when your name gets put on that abstract. So that's just one thing to note, that the buyer's names aren't going to be on the abstract, but it's going to be your name being put on the abstract as the owner selling the home. The next thing is just a small fee of $50. This is the deed preparation fee. So deed preparation, this is just making sure obviously that the people who are selling the home as you, the sellers. You guys are the actual owners of the home and you own it outright. There's not any liens on the home. There's not any other owners that claim to have interest in the property. And it's also just making sure that the parcel is correct, the legal description is correct, all these type of things. It's just kind of doing the legal background to make sure that both parties are able to do this transfer of the home and do it legally. Next is one of the biggest things people talk about when selling their home, and that is real estate agent commissions. So the way commissions work is if I was coming to list your home as the listing agent, I would charge a fee, and then you as a seller could choose what you want to pay out to any buyer's agents. If you've bought or sold a home before, you know that in a real estate transaction, sellers may choose to pay out the buyer's agent commission as a part of their proceeds from the sale. This can be a big thing to bring a lot of attention to your property and make more buyers interested, because that's just one less thing that the buyer has to come up with at the end of the day at the closing table, especially when they're already coming up with a down payment, they're already coming up with any other closing fees, inspection fees, all that type of stuff. The buyer's bringing all that to the table. So just by taking away that buyer's agent commission for that buyer, the seller is actually doing a lot for the buyer in their eyes. And another thing to think about is if you're buying and selling a home at the same time, you would only have to pay the commission for both sides once. So if you're selling the home and you decide to pay out both sides, and then you go and look at a home and that seller is paying out commission, you're just really only paying it once on each side. Then another thing aside from real estate agent commission is a transaction fee. Now a transaction fee is what some brokerages charge just for that transaction of one person moving on to the next person. That's through the brokerage. That is not a deed preparation fee. So some brokerages charge this. Me personally, in my brokerage, we do not charge a transaction fee at all. The transaction fees people charge vary, obviously. Some, obviously, like my brokerage, do not pay out a transaction fee or charge a transaction fee, but then other brokerages do. But it's just something you need to know as a seller to make sure you know how much money you're getting in your pocket at the end of the day from your home sale. So also, there's a closing fee. This is just a fee for the title company that you use when selling your home, and usually your agent will give you recommendations or give you the title company you use when selling your home. But this is just a fee to make sure everything is done correctly. The title company will do their job to make sure the title is rightly transferred to the new owner. So those are kind of the main costs that come with selling your home that I break down in my seller's net sheet. So we know you can get the most money in your pocket at the end of the day, bottom line. So now let's go over a little example of a net sheet I did for one of my clients earlier this year. So the way it works for my business personally is I would meet with you as a seller. We'd kind of walk through your home. Then after that, I would go and I would run a competitive market analysis on your home. So the difference between a competitive market analysis and an online valuation tool that you may see online, there's a lot of different websites that you can find the value of your home. A competitive market analysis takes into account all things. It takes into account all the renovations you've done on your home, any things you've added, any things you've gotten rid of, the landscaping and the area and the location. Location is a huge thing and the most important thing in real estate. It takes that into account. So I take all these different things into account, and then I run my own competitive market analysis. So if I do this, it's going to be better than those online valuation tools because I'm going through and I can actually see the improvements you've made on your home. I can look at the recent sales, the recent listings, the recent expired listings, and know what's going on in the market to make sure you have a good range of values so you know what you can list your home for, so you can get the most amount of money in your pocket at the end of the day when you sell your North Dakota home. So this is a little example of what my competitive market analysis would actually look like. So let's say this is your house right here. I would take your house, I would take other houses in the surrounding area, similar bedroom, bathrooms, and that type of stuff, and I would look at the homes that have sold or are pending in the last 30 to 50 days. So the reason this is important is showing what buyers are paying right now in the market to know your market value. Now, maybe a home in your area sold for way, way below market value, but it was 100 and 150 days ago. So obviously the market has shifted, the market has changed, and your home is worth more than it was back in that 50 to 100 days ago. So this is the sheet that would actually break down the comparables and everything. So the whole entire CMA is at least over 10 pages long. So I just kind of showed you the two most important sheets, since as you can see, I obviously blocked out the information from my clients, but this is what it shows. So it shows a recommended price right in the middle of my recommended range was $245,000 for this home. Now this doesn't mean that we necessarily listed at $245,000, but we listed close to that $245,000 as depending on your motivations for selling and how quickly you want your home to be sold. Now obviously you can go under market value and sell your home and maybe sell it quicker and faster, But if you can afford to let it sit on the market a little bit longer or try to get a bidding war on your home, you can end up making more money at the end of the day if you do it with this strategy. So then what I'll do for you as your real estate agent is I'll take this number from my competitive market analysis that I walk through with you as a seller after I walk through your home. Then I'll take that and put that into a seller's net sheet. Now this is a different seller's net sheet from that last home, but as we can see here, we decided we wanted to list at $379,900. So I would plug in all the different numbers, the mortgage payoff, the agent fees, the deed preparation, the abstract extension, the inspection items, then everything that comes with selling your home, I would break it all down for you as a seller. What you can expect it to cost for you to sell your home. So as you can see on this seller's net sheet is $172,030. This includes everything that needed to be paid off so you could actually sell your home. Now the main thing and the biggest expense in all of this was the mortgage payoff for these particular people. But for everybody it's different, and this number is going to vary a lot depending on the mortgage you have on your current home and other costs associated with selling your home. So as you can see, based off that, I would take that number, subtract it from that $379,900. This client in particular, $207,870 as a check after closing, which is an awesome amount and gives them a lot of information on what they can look to maybe put that as a down payment for their next home or to do whatever else they need with that money and know how much they got from their investment of buying a house, which is one of the best investments you can make in this modern world. So thanks for watching this video of me, a Fargo real estate agent, breaking down how much it'll cost to sell your North Dakota home. If you want to see what selling a North Dakota home is like and you want to get your own competitive market analysis and own seller's net sheet for your property to know how much it's going to cost you to sell, you can schedule a call with me through a link in the description below. Even if you're not interested in selling or moving to Fargo, North Dakota, you can still feel free to reach out. I have a big database of other agents and other people I use throughout the whole entire state that can help you with your selling and buying journey here in North Dakota.